Not gonna lie, former Trump voter here. This is effing hilarious watching Trump crash and burn. But in all seriousness, we can't let this guy get the nuclear codes. Another day, another piece of fake news. Here on Buzzfeed.news, allegedly, we have the following. A 300-year-old woman saying the following. Get out while you can. Once notorious for her racist and bigoted tweets, Katie McHugh saw the dark insides of the nationalist movement of the Caucasian variety. And I'm just going to say right now, I don't believe this story for a second. You see this all the time, especially on the chans. You see shills. You see people who are clearly hired by Share Blue, Media Matters, and other companies that like to censor and sow discord and misinformation. The real Russians, the actual American shills. So yeah, I don't believe her for a second. A former alternative right member's message. Get out while you still can. So that's the title of this article, and that's what we're going to be examining today. By Rosie Gray. I wonder what lineage that comes from. If you remember Katie McHugh. Is it McHugh? Is it McHugh? Is it just Hugh? I'm just going to say McHugh. It's probably because of the tweets. A short selection. British settlers built the USA. Slaves built the country much as cows built McDonald's. Amateur. I mean, it's true. The only way to strike a balance between vigilance, discrimination, and terror is to end Muslim immigration. Well, I mean, technically, if you didn't let in a certain group of people into your country, then you would never ever see any crimes by those people. Just let's use an example. Let's say that you can't import grapes anymore because grapes, they explode randomly. Well, if you just don't import any grapes, you don't have any risk of being blown up. I don't necessarily see what the problem with that statement is. Funny how Europeans assimilated, unlike third worlders, demanding welfare while struggle snuggling and deceasing Americans. Another fair point. Another fair point. These are all fair points. Holy crap. This is what your average leftist actually believes. They believe that these tweets are horrible. They're horrible. She's saying stuff that's technically correct. British settlers did build the USA. If you don't let in a certain group of people, those people cannot harm you because they're not there. That's also true. Europeans did assimilate, and there is many people coming over to the developed world and demanding that the country change to suit them. It's absolutely insane. These are all fair observations. But of course, this will get the leftist panties in a bunch. There are many more examples, but this is the big one. The one that ultimately triggered her firing from her job as a writer and editor at Breitbart News in 2017. There would be no deadly terror attacks in the UK if the Muslims didn't live there.
You are technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Again, this is literally true. And she got fired for that? By Breitbart of all places? By Cuck Bart? It's literally true. Literally. If you don't have a group of people in your country, those people cannot harm you. Period. If they're not allowed in the country, they cannot harm you. That's literally correct. So what are you trying to tell me here? That these are all crazy statements? I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with the opinion, but she's kind of pointing out literal truths. Want to support more reporting like this? Become a BuzzFeed News member today. The only thing I support's my foot in your ass. Who would want to support BuzzFeed? Support a real YouTube creator like Mr. Obvious. You can join me on Patreon and Subscribestar, or you can donate through PayPal, or you can just share this video. It all helps. Every little bit helps, folks. I'm only doing that plug to kind of rub it in the face of BuzzFeed here. If you look at her Twitter feed now, you'll see that it's changed. It's locked and her bio is blank. Where is McHugh? I can't tell you, but I've seen her lately. The first time we met was late last summer on the stoop of the house where she was living in Washington, D.C. She looked gaunt and anxious. When I shook her hand, it felt tiny and frail. We sat facing each other across a patio table. On a hot, sticky day, she smoked. I didn't know what to make of her. This was someone whom I'd known to be a bigot. Someone who freely threw around the word cuck slur and who represented the kind of ideology I have devoted much of my career so far to explaining and exposing. I guess we're similar in that respect because what I do is expose leftist insanity. The insanity of the warriors of the justice variety. the insanity of all these cultural Marxists, these traitors. It was a little over a year after Charlottesville. They always love to talk about that. But you know what they don't talk about? They don't talk about the fact that the entire reason the accident happened was because people were attacking the car. Because you know leftists love to smash things. They love to damage people's property. They're always getting in the roads, attacking cars, and then they act like the victims when stuff goes bad. One lone actor doesn't speak for the entire group. Bull crap. The bad things from the internet had started to come to life with terrible, violent, and real consequences. You mean Antifa? You mean, yeah, those domestic terrorists? Yeah. No, you're not going to talk about that, are you? You're not going to talk about all the doxing, about the deplatforming, about all the violence, about the leftists who hit people with bike locks, who think it's okay to just punch someone for wearing a Trump hat. You people make me sick. It was bizarre to see in person someone who had existed for me only as an online symbol of the very worst parts of contemporary politics. She was saying she wanted to leave it all behind. Her years as a far-right media figure and tweeter, and someone whose close observers of the right-wing media knew was one of Breitbart's most obvious connections to the core of the alt-right. McHugh had dated Kevin Deanna, the founder of Youth for Western Civilization, a now-defunct right-wing campus youth group that billed itself as promoting the survival of Western civilization and the pride in Western heritage. What exactly is wrong with that? I can't think of a single thing. We literally, god damn, we live in clown world. That's where we live. Imagine believing that Western civilization and Western heritage and pride in the West is a bad thing. Holy crap. But it was intertwined with the nationalist movement of the Caucasian variety. Jared Taylor, the self-described white advocate founder of American Renaissance, once fundraised for the group. Her disparaging tweets about people of color and Muslims made her stand out even as Steve Bannon's Breitbart, which had launched Milo Yiannopoulos' career, had featured a black crime tag for stories. I'm sure they didn't run out of material, am I right? And that's a statistical fact, okay? If you think that's like a bad thing, I invite you to look at FBI statistics and kind of red pill yourself.
I watch a lot of Fox News because I want to know how the other side talks. And so the other day I was watching, my thought process going in for research was, why do some people hate black people? And on the screen it said, 50% of all murders committed in this country were committed by black people. And I was like, that could be a reason. I didn't trust the numbers. So I went outside, I was like, this is bullshit. I know for a fact these numbers can't be true, so I Googled it, and it turns out those numbers were real. Then I was fucked up. I was like, wait a minute, that's a lot. It was only 12%, 50% of the murders. We doing that? And then I was like, I need to find out more.
And had been described by Bannon himself as a platform for the alternative right. I don't know if I believe that. I really don't. Okay, because these people lie all the time. And first of all, that's a stupid term that was made up by the media to put a label on like right-wingers they didn't agree with and wanted to destroy. It's meaningless. Okay, Taylor is controlled opposition. I think he's full of crap. A lot of people do. Nobody takes him seriously. Blah, 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 blah. She lost her job. She couldn't pay her bills. Let's get down to the interview part, because so far this woman is just pushing her own thoughts. So yeah, great article here. Her story is fascinating and sometimes frustrating. She wishes she had never said the things she said or did the things she's done. But when I first met her, she still insisted that they were often jokes gone wrong and that on some level she said these things because she'd been egged on by others. No, that's bull. This woman believed what she said. She probably still believes it. But then again, you notice this with women. They're so quick to betray. They're so quick to switch sides. It's probably in female DNA because, you know, in the past, let's say you have a small tribe and then the big tribe comes and they get rid of all the men and they take all the women and the women have to assimilate. So I think on an evolutionary level, women are really good at switching sides. Basically, it's just shallow. I don't think she was joking. And I also don't think that what she said was really that controversial. She seemed unable to face her full complicity in her own behavior. Unlike Derek Black, the son of Stormfront founder Don Black, to date, one of the most significant defectors from the nationalist movement of a Caucasian variety. He's even subject of a recent book by Washington Post Ellie Soslow. McHugh wasn't raised in the movement, although black represented the old guard of... Okay, I'm getting tired of reading that. His godfather is David Duke. McHugh was also part of the vanguard. Her set took the emerging Own the Libs ethos that animated the online right and combined it with a new iteration. Okay, you keep pushing this. You brainwashing piece of garbage. Which called itself the alternative right. No, it did not. The media came up with that label. The media is the one that's always talking about nationalism, like nationalism's a bad word. It's not. In fact, every country that's not nationalist becomes a shithole. Every single time. Where was McHugh radicalized? Maybe by the truth. Her story's about support systems and pipelines. It's about how an angry young conservative with reactionary views got herself involved with a small coterie of ideologies in Washington and prepped for a conservative media career in the critical years before the rise of Donald Trump. As extremism became more popular on the right, fake news. And as people could optimize themselves for success through attention on social media, the only one who's become more extreme is the left. Literally, there's studies that prove it. They prove that the left has moved towards extremism, while people on the right have either remained on the right or actually become more moderate. So you're wrong. You're literally wrong. Jesus Christ, wasn't it just the other day that the FBI stopped an Antifa terror plot to have a rebellion, to stage a coup? Left-wingers, not right-wingers. It's the left who attack people. It's the left who... They bully people. They destroy people's lives. They're bad people. Her story is also about something that has ended. The events she described took me to places mostly between 2013 and 2017. A span of time in which the alternative right rose and fell dramatically as it attempted to go mainstream. No. Again, you made that term up. The media is the one that came up with it. They're the one that pushed this meme. I know it's all shilling. I know it's propaganda. I can't tell you how many posts I've seen on 4chan lately talking about how, I'm not a Trump supporter anymore. I'm Yang Gang now. Trump is, he's finished. Trump is, he's too nice to Jewish people. That means you shouldn't vote for him again. It's all shilling. Okay, Democrats, they made super PACs and they hired professional trolls to try and manipulate places like 4chan. They're shills. They're liars. Just because Trump hasn't been able to do everything he wanted to, that doesn't mean that he's not worthy of being voted in again. He's done pretty good. The economy's good. He fixed some things up. He's been a good president. Hell yeah, I'd vote for him again. And you're not going to shill me into doing otherwise because I'm not a moron. And I know that a Democrat would destroy this country. I'm not voting Democrat. Ever. Never gonna happen. Not after what I've seen about them. Man, this author's really pushing the propaganda. Literally, she keeps repeating the same idea. These people are evil, bad. Bad. Orange man, bad. That's basically this article. I take full responsibility for my actions, McHugh says now. Everything that I said was terrible. Was my fault. She says she knows she was a leftist. She says that she has changed, and she's ready to tell everything she knows. I don't believe this woman for a second. By the time she arrived in Allegheny, things were changing on the right. The victory of the first black president. Half black. An unapologetic liberal with roots in the community organizing so hated by conservatives had catalyzed a shift on the right toward conspiracy theories, a penchant for victimhood. Really? You're calling it victimhood. Coming from the left. Oh, that's rich. That's rich, you little wimpy children crybabies. Yeah, victimhood. Oh, God. And an increasing emphasis on winning at all costs. Okay, go screw yourself. That is the left's policy. Win at any cost. Lie if you have to. Manipulate people if you have to. Spread fake news if you have to. Start witch hunts. Deplatform people. Attack people. God, you're so blind. You're so blind. You are literally what's destroying the world right now. You are literally the corruption that needs to be rooted out. You are the bad guy. You are the villain of this story. You are on the wrong side of history, and you don't realize it. And I don't know what this article is getting at. It just talks about her life. Blah 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 Trump. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay, I get it. You're 30,000 years old. I don't need to see more pictures of this woman. And let's just skip to the end. Oh boy, wow. Can you imagine how long we would have been here if I tried to read all this? Okay, so let's read the conclusion. Knowing exactly what to do with McHugh isn't easy, but the point is more what she is able to do, not what society is supposed to do for her. She said terrible things and helped empower a destructive social and political movement.
No, that's you.
She was part of a group of people who took advantage of others' trust and obliviousness to smuggle racists into polite society. Now she says she's changed. That's also fake news. They're full of crap. She knows that many people won't believe that she has. That's why I'm saying I take full responsibility for everything I said, every mistake I made, anyone who I hurt in the process of this period, she told me last year. She's lying. People don't change, especially not that easily. At age 28, she made herself unemployable in the career field she chose. She was unfairly fired, in my opinion, even on the fringes. She perpetually struggles to support herself financially. It's easy to see how someone in McHugh's position might regret the path she took that got her there. Would she still regret it if she still had friends, still had a writing job? See, and this is how sadistic the left is. They honestly believe that you deserve to have your life destroyed and your finances obliterated if you have wrongthink. That's how they think. But when it happens to them, oh, we're poor victims. How could this happen? Because they're self-righteous and they're literally toxic people. They're everything they claim to hate. Everything. McHugh has a message for people on a similar path, the one that can only be considered regardless of whether you believe she's actually changed. And this is where the shilling comes in. This is a psyop. This is what I refuse to believe that's true, because it's shilling every single time. My screen inverter crashed. Okay, well, okay. Let's see. People like me should be given a chance to recognize how bad this is, and that the alternative right is not a replacement for any kind of liberal democracy whatsoever. This isn't a democracy. It's a republic. A republic. A constitutional republic. Get that through your thick skulls, shills. Any kind of system, they have no chance, and they're just harmful, McHugh said. Yeah, all she's done is, switch sides. That's all she's trying to do now. That's literally what she's trying to do. There is forgiveness, there is redemption. You have to own up to what you did and then forcefully reject this and explain to people and tell your story and say, get out while you still can. Yeah, okay. This article's trash. The author is trash. And this lady is full of it. She's got those crazy eyes. I don't trust her for a second. So I'm going to cut this one short, guys. I got to fix this Firefox thing. But I think you get the picture. We have to stop them before they silence us all. But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. How do you feel about this obvious psyop from the left about, oh, you should just stop being a right-winger. Join us liberals, the good guys. Let me know what you think. This has been Mr. Obvious. Thank you for watching. See you all next time.